All right, class. What we're working on today is adding and subtracting polynomials. But the thing is, these are the standard math expressions that you deal with. This is not an application section. You can look at the other video for that. But this is just mastering the mathematical symbols and how it all works. I want to focus in on two problems, problem 11 and 14. And from that, you should be able to handle problems 12 and 13. Now, the first thing you need to understand is that whenever you see a plus sign between two parentheses, so if you see this, it means get rid of parentheses. Sorry about the parentheses. Sorry, trying to spell it. Sorry about the handwriting there. But bottom line is we can get rid of the parentheses, and so we will write it out a little bit nicer here and start to really simplify without worrying about those parentheses. And that's only because of this plus sign between the two parentheses. In the minus sign cases, we'll talk about those. Something else happens. Now, your next step is to combine terms with like powers. Now, what I mean by like powers, I mean like powers on the variable. So let me use a different color here. So when I look at this and I say, okay, 6n, that's really to the first power. And I look to see if there's anything else to the first power. And I notice, yeah, that one's to the first power. And even though it's not written, something in my mind tells me that's a 1. So I'm combining these two together right here. A 6n to the first plus, now this is a 1, not a 7. Don't get confused, it's just a 1. So it's 6n to the first plus 1n to the first will mean I will write down 7n to the first power. So now let me look at something else. Now this is an n squared, so I'm looking for that too, and I'm looking and I say, aha, there's another one. Now here the trick is you have to keep the sign in front of the number. So even though the plus sign looks far away, remember this plus stays with the 4 and this plus stays with the 3. So you're dealing with a 4n squared plus a 3n squared. So those go together and you say, aha, I'm going to write a plus 7n squared. So now let's look at something else. Let me try a different color here. Kind of give a cool color. Hopefully, I don't know, that one looks cool. So now we look at the others. 3n cubed. I'm looking for a 3, and there is no other one with a 3. This is what we call a single unlike term, and it gets rewritten again, and there's nothing to combine it with, so I'm going to write plus 3n cubed. Now this one's a plus 5, and if you remember in class, this is called a constant term, and I'm looking for other numbers to add it to, and there doesn't seem to be any. Okay, now look, notice I put 3 bars here to indicate this is its own thing, and I put 4 bars here to indicate it's its own thing. So I'm going to put a plus 5 over here. Now look at this way that I wrote the final answer. You'll notice I put a constant term, an n to the first, an n squared, or an n cubed. So this is acceptable, and this is what is called standard form from from low power to high power. You can also have standard form from high power, so I could write it like this, 3n cubed, waiting for the machine to work here, 3n cubed plus 7n squared plus 7n plus 5. And this is what we call standard form from high power to low. So either way, it's a good way of writing it. Generally, we'll call the bottom one kind of the standard way we do it, high power to low for now. But if you write it like this, that's also good. All right, so that takes care of the plus sign situation. Let's move on to something else here and deal with these minuses. Now, if you remember the rule here from the top, there's a plus between, so we can get rid of these parentheses and these because of the plus sign between these parentheses. So I'll write this part over again. That's pretty easy, nothing to worry about. So we're just moving along, writing it down. Now the trick is that minus sign, and that minus sign really causes some action to happen. That minus is affecting the parenthesis on the right side. So when we read from left to right, remember that. So this minus affects this term, and it affects that term. And what that minus is telling us is saying we want to subtract this or take the opposite of what we see. Well, the opposite of 4x cubed is a minus 4x cubed. But the takeaway of a negative acts like a positive. It wants to take away the negative, making it a positive, a plus 4x squared. And that's the big move right from here to here. This part doesn't really look too much different, but this part here is the major difference. Then everything else follows the same strategy we did over here. And so I'm just going to look for things with the same powers. I'm going to look at power 4. So I look, and I say, ooh, there's power 4 right there. I look some more, I say, nope, those are the only two that go together, those two right there. So it's a 4x to the fourth and a minus 7. Now that minus stays with the 7. This is a minus 7. Don't let my handwriting fool you. So a 4x to the fourth minus 7x to the fourth is a negative 3x to the fourth. So that takes care of that part. Now let's look at something else. I'm looking at cubes. I see a cube here. I see a cube here. I see a cube here. Wow, I see 3 of them. And on top, this is a plus, and there's that hidden 1 we always have to worry about. So this is a minus 7, a plus 1, and a minus 4. And these all go together. And a minus 7 plus 1 is a negative 6, and a negative 6 minus 4 is a negative 10. Now check that out on the calculator for those of you not sure, but that's a minus 7, a plus 1, and a minus 4. And that will, in fact, be a negative 10. But we don't just write negative 10. We write a negative 10x to the third because we keep the exponent with the x variable. All right, so let's see what's left. What's dragging right here, yeah, it was not bad. It's just dragging, is the 4x squared. So fine, you write it over again, and you're pretty much done. Lucky for us, this is in a standard form of x to the fourth, x cubed, x squared. There is no need to rewrite this in any special way. This is the answer to this problem. I hope that helps you with 11 and 14. You'll be able to quickly do 12 and 13. Alrighty, as the saying goes, thanks for watching.